Hello, Central Arkansas, and welcome to the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women digital experience. I'm LaShannon Spencer, and I'm honored to be this year's co-chair for Go Red for Women campaign alongside Katie Lee. We are thrilled to be together to celebrate and to be inspired and to focus on women's heart health.
That's right, LaShannon. Thank you for tuning in from wherever you are. While we may be social distancing, we still want to see all your beautiful faces. Grab your phones right now and take a quick selfie. Family members and pets can photobomb and strike your pose. Use the hashtag ARGoRed when you post. Let's see your red. You can also engage with each other using the chat box function on your screen. Go ahead and type in where you're watching from. We're so glad you're here.
The American Heart Association and Central Arkansas is working in our communities to make a difference in the lives of local women we know and love. To make it easy, we'll share information with you a few times throughout today's program. It's real simple. Just simply grab your cell phone and text the message ARGoRed, no space, to 41444. You will immediately receive a text response with a link to a secured website where you can complete your gift. On the screen now, throughout the event, you'll see an interactive gift thermometer where you'll be able to recognize the progress made towards our fundraising goal.
Text ARGoRed to 41444 and we'll check back later in the program to see how you're doing. Let's see that thermometer rise. Now I'll turn it over to our MC, Ashley King.
Hello, I'm Ashley King with THV11 and your MC today. We have a fantastic program planned for you, including a special video from an inspiring survivor, Catherine Biggers, and our guest speaker, Kara Golden, founder of Hint Water. Don't forget, the silent auction will be closing at 5 today. Copy and paste the website you see in the chat box to bid on amazing items. Of course, none of this would be possible without our wonderful sponsors. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Saline Health System. Senior Webinars sponsor, Community Health Systems of Arkansas. CPR Kit sponsor, Arvest Bank. Life is Wise sponsor, Big Red Stores. Survivor sponsor, Arkansas Children's Hospital. And all our other amazing sponsors whose names you'll see on the screen now. It is a fact that cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death for women, taking one woman's life every 80 seconds. Never has the time for focusing on one's health been more important than it is right now. 17 years ago, the American Heart Association introduced a movement called Go Red for Women with a mission to eliminate heart disease and stroke in women. What started as an awareness campaign quickly grew to an international rallying cry and has become a platform for real change. The American Heart Association wants to ensure that all women are aware that heart disease is their #1 killer. Encourage all the women in your life, mothers, daughters, sisters, friends, to take charge of their health and know the signs and symptoms of a heart attack or stroke. Speaking of stroke symptoms, it's time for a quick trivia question. What does FAST stand for? Is it a face, arm, speech, time? B, fight, action, saves time? Or C, face, arm, signal, teach? Type what you think the answer is into the chat box, either A, B, or C. And the answer is A, face, arm, speech, and time. It's so important to know the meaning of FAST, F-A-S-T, and how to take action. Our Circle of Red members are our ear to the ground and an inside voice on what our communities are facing. These women and men are community leaders who are leading the charge and being a voice and ambassador for our cause. We hope that all of you here with us today will consider joining our Circle of Red leaders with a gift of $1,000. Join us as we change women's health around the world. Right now, you'll see a poll on your screen. It says, are you interested in joining Circle of Red? The options are 1, yes, I'd like to make a $1,000 donation today. 2, yes, but I'd like more information first. 3, I'm not able to donate today, but please keep me informed on future opportunities. 4, I'm already a member. Go ahead and type 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat box. Again, thank you to those who have already renewed their gift for this year. Now let's take a look at some of the great work the American Heart Association has done over the past year.
This is news breaking from the American Heart Association. We are announcing it for the first time right here.
We're back now with a new warning today from the American Heart Association.
De los Estados Unidos, la doctora Regina Benjamin, miembro directivo del American Heart Association.
Case studies indicating COVID may lead to heart attacks. Joining me right now is Dr. Mitchell Elkin. He's president of the American Heart Association.
So have you joined the Boss Family workouts recently with Twitch and Allison? I mean, we love those two from So You Think You Can Dance, Ellen, and Dancing with the Stars. But now they have teamed up with the American Heart Association.
It's Live with Kelly and Ryan.
Years ago, the American Heart Association revised their out-of-hospital CPR protocol, and it's called hands-only CPR.
She's now sharing her story as part of the American Heart Association's Don't Die of Doubt campaign.
This is all about the American Heart Association's Healthy Bond for Life.
Late today, the American Heart Association putting out an advisory to pediatricians. As sales of marijuana soared during the pandemic, a new warning from the American Heart Association.
Tonight, the American Heart Association sounding the alarm.
A new report from the American Heart Association.
Heart disease is the #1 killer of men and women here in the U.S. and worldwide. So when the American Heart Association puts out a scientific statement, people tend to pay attention.
Comunicar y American Heart Association quiere comunicar.
Según la Asociación Americana del Corazón, hay 3 factores que contribuyen a padecer del COVID complicado o fatal.
And joining me is Dr. Mariel Jessup, the American Heart Association's top medical officer.
Dr. Michelle Albert is president of American Black Cardiologists. She's working with the American Heart Association to research COVID in Black women.
Dr. Larry Mittenall is an American Heart Association volunteer.
KITV4's Maleka McDonald tonight talks with the CEO of the American Heart Association about surprise medical bills.
This is why I love the American Heart Association. They step up in real time to address a need.
Isn't that amazing? Thank you to all of you for supporting the mission of the AHA. I also want to thank all of our 2021 survivors for sharing their stories in this month's AY magazine. Now I'll turn it back over to LaShannon to introduce our amazing survivor.
Ever since I've known her, Catherine Biggers has lived a very healthy life. Actually, 4 years ago, we lived near each other in Southern California. I would see her beautiful smiling face, her smiling self in Newport Beach Society magazines, donating money to charitable causes or utilizing her interior design skills to create lovely restaurants. We attended the same junior high school in the Little Rock School District and the same college during our freshman year. I remember swimming in her swimming pool in the Quapaw neighborhood in downtown Little Rock. I have fond memories of Catherine. Recently, Catherine suffered a heart attack during COVID. Her rare heart attack has shifted her to refocus and to rethink about things that are most important to her now, making an impact in the lives of others. In particular, promoting heart health for women. Catherine has a message that you generally would want to hear. It is my pleasure to be able to introduce to you Catherine Biggers.
Incredibly surprised. I'll never forget the moment that I was in the emergency room while they were doing tests, and the doctor came in after being there maybe 5-10 minutes of poking and prodding, and he put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Catherine, you are having a heart attack." And I was shocked and dismayed, and it was in that moment that he said, "In just a few minutes, you'll be going by ambulance to a hospital that has cardiac ICU. We can't take care of you here." And I was in complete shock as the doors burst open and 2 ambulance drivers came in and lifted me from one gurney to the next. And in the middle of the night, I was taken in an ambulance to another hospital. We all know stories of people who've died from heart attacks, and I didn't really know what to believe. I was very alone. It was also during COVID, so there was no one with me. I couldn't have anyone with me in the hospital. I was just me and the staff, and it was very, very scary. Incredibly alone to be in a room with 5, 6, 7 strangers who were feverishly doing their jobs, which I'm grateful for, but no one I knew. And I do remember asking a nurse if she would please just hold my hand. And she did, all the way to the ambulance. I knew I was in good medical hands, but I was alone. I have no family history at all of heart disease and no known risk factors, the ones that most people know about. I don't have those. The type of heart attack I have is one where there are no risk factors, and it seemingly happens to healthy, active women that are in their 40s and 50s who are living very active and full lives. So it's kind of the anomaly of heart attacks. But it was a scary first 3 months. I do remember that I didn't like going to sleep at night. I had a fear that I wouldn't wake up. I had great doctors, really great support system of family and friends and those that loved me, my faith, a lot of resources that I came across reading, like the American Heart Association. I'd never been on their website until this had happened, and they became an incredible deep well of resources in terms of women's health and women's wellness. That gave me a lot of confidence and hope to see what doctors were actually doing currently around heart disease for women. When I went onto their website and saw the unbelievable amounts of resources from nutrition to activity, literally they've got exercises you could do, food and meal plans that you could try. There are an unbelievable amount of different doctors that are giving advice and their wisdom and their expertise on certain parts of different pieces of heart disease. It also gave me hope. In the immediate days after my heart attack, they were the darkest. There's so much fear about, will my life ever resume to what it was? Will I be able to be active or be with my family or go back to work or whatever that is for you? And I would say, yes, you will. In time, you will. You might have to find out what a new normal is for you, but all of the things that you loved about your life, you get to keep and you get to resume, but maybe with a little bit more intention and presence. To people who are having these kinds of pains or having what's going on, advocate for yourself, ask for a test, ask for a doctor. If you don't get what you need, go to another doctor, go to another emergency room until you have somebody that will see you, and not to brush it off as back pain or busy day or I'm too tired or indigestion. If something's going on in your body, you deserve to have it checked out because it could be life-saving. After starting this journey, very scared and very uncertain about my future, I can tell you today that through the love of family and friends, a great medical team, and the wealth of information American Heart Association, I am on the other side of feeling free and confident and excited about my future. And I urge you, if you have any of this, if you have questions about this, or you're going through this experience, or have someone who might be, that you would reach out. There are resources abundant, and that you would reach out to the American Heart Association and find the answers that you need and get the help that you deserve so that you and your loved ones can live a beautiful, long, happy, healthy life. It's possible. And I hope that my story is not just one of survival, but of hope.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for sharing your experience, and congratulations to the Episcopal Collegiate student, Leighton Robinson, for the winner of the Go Red for Women art contest. I personally would also like to thank the staff of the American Heart Association. This event would not be successful without Becky and with Katie. Becky made sure that I was involved in every step of the way. She truly has been a delight to work with, and I want to thank all of our sponsors as well. Without you, this event would not be successful. A special thanks to our Open Your Heart sponsors and the Arkansas Beef Council.
Wow, look at our thermometer rise. Thank you for your generous gifts. And next, I'm delighted to introduce our keynote speaker, Kara Goldin. Kara Goldin is the founder and CEO of Hint Inc., best known for its award-winning Hint Water, the leading unsweetened flavor water. The Huffington Post listed her as one of 6 disruptors in business, alongside Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. She is an active speaker and writer, and in 2017, she launched The Kara Goldin Show, a podcast where she interviews founders, entrepreneurs, and disruptors across various industries. Kara's first book, Undaunted: Overcoming Doubts and Doubters, published by Harper Leadership, was released October 2020 and is now a WSJ and Amazon bestseller. Please welcome Kara Goldin.
Hi everyone, I'm Kara Goldin. I'm the founder and CEO of Hint, a local San Francisco company, and also an incredibly proud member of Circle of Red and big supporter of Go Red for Women. And I am honored to speak to all of you today. Many of you I know, some of you I do not, and hopefully I will meet when we're all together face to face again. But the team at Go Red asked me to not only talk about my support, but also talk about my journey in building my company for a few minutes and ultimately what led me to do it. I always talk about myself as an entrepreneur that is kind of an accidental entrepreneur, because I never thought that I was ultimately going to start a company that is what it is today, but I did it out of my own realization that I wasn't as healthy as I wanted to be. So I had always been thinking that I was healthy. I was drinking a ton of diet soda, thinking that that was just fine because it was diet. And then one day I really started to focus on my health. I hadn't been feeling that great. I had gained a lot of weight that I couldn't take off, and I had also developed some skin issues, some terrible adult acne that I'd never even had as a teenager. So just as a test, I gave up my diet soda and started drinking plain water, throwing fruit in the water in order to make it taste better. And my shift in my health was dramatic. My energy came back. I felt better. My skin issues cleared up. And also, I lost 24 pounds in 2.5 weeks. It was pretty crazy dramatic what had happened to me. And at that point, I really started to realize that it's pretty hard for consumers, especially in the crazy life that we're leading, and not to discount exactly what 2020 has brought to many of us as well, where we're really just looking at kind of every day, waking up and doing what we do every day versus actually maybe being a little bit selfish and focusing on ourselves and how we're ultimately feeling, and can we actually do something to create a little bit bigger change. And when I really started to think about how I had changed my own health just by making this one tiny little change, I thought I could bring health to a lot more people if I could actually get them to shift away from some of the diet drinks, some of the healthy perception things that are out there. And so often we hear people share that message with us that they just needed a little something in order to not only drink water and make it taste better, but also to let them know overall that they can do it. So by launching a company, I feel like we've been able to give people hope to ultimately get healthier. And it's a pretty exciting thing. And today we are one of the largest privately held non-alcoholic beverages in the U.S. today that doesn't have a relationship with some of the giant companies that are out there either. So that it really came at a time when so many people doubted that I'd be able to do it. Many days I even doubted it because I recognized just the challenge and the uphill battle that I was up against, and also just the idea of not only starting a company, but also starting a brand new category in an industry was something that I had no knowledge of. I'd been a tech executive, not really didn't have any experience in beverage or in food and beverage, but I knew that just by launching a product that I was really passionate about, that I really cared about, that I really saw a difference in my own life, that I thought that if I could just go try and see what I can do, that would be amazing. And I actually just wrote a book called Undaunted, which kind of follows a lot of my journey and a lot of the reasons behind not only some of the challenges that we had, but also some of my own doubts and some of my doubters as well, and their stories on how they really chatted with me about how I wasn't going to be able to do it, and also some of our failures along the way too. And what I share with so many people, entrepreneurs and other today, is that if you don't ultimately go try, then you can't achieve what you want to do, right? You have to start somewhere and you have to ultimately go try. And I also believe that goes hand in hand with health too, that if you don't try and get healthy, if you don't pay attention, then you can continue living this life every single day that you're living, and maybe that's okay. But also just know that if you actually go try and actually pay attention to some of the things that you're doing to your body, that you may be able to make a big change just by making a tiny little switch. So again, if you're interested in reading my book, it's called Undaunted, Overcoming Doubts and Doubters. I'd love to hear from you as well. And I'm just super, super excited to really be here today and see so many people that are excited about the Go Red for Women movement as well. Getting back to my own story as it relates to a heart issue. So I do not have a heart issue that I know of, but I've been very sensitive to heart issues for many years. My mom actually had a virus when she was a little girl that is called scarlet fever. And she was a survivor of scarlet fever and never really thought that there was anything wrong until she learned in her mid-40s that she actually had a heart valve issue. So she had to have a new valve in place due to a virus that she had contracted and she survived from. And she didn't learn until 40 years later that this affected her. So as a little girl, I remember starting kindergarten and hearing that my mom was going to have valve replacement surgery. And she was able to get the valve replacement surgery and live a very solid life to 80 years old. But nonetheless, I think that your heart is something that ultimately you need to take care of, and you need to pay attention to it. And sometimes things come along that you can't have any control over. And sometimes when you pay a little bit more attention to the things that you can have control over, to live the healthiest life that you can, which is what I believe that I'm doing today, that you can actually really fend off some of the issues if there are things that come along that maybe you can't control. So I think we all just need to pay attention, support the Go Red for Women campaign and the Heart Association as a whole. And I'm just really thankful that there are so many people out there that are really focused on this and doing all kinds of research, all kinds of support system for those who maybe can't afford some of the great things that are going on right now in research, and in order to really have people be able to live a healthier life. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you all have a wonderful 2021. See you soon.
Thank you, Kara. What an important reminder to be undaunted to help us achieve our goals. As we think about this year, I am proud of us in Central Arkansas for making a commitment to stand together and to make change happen. We are going red in our ways and showing the world how we as women refuse to compromise when it comes to our health, even in times of uncertainty. Go ahead and type in the chat box the name of the person you're going red in memory of.
It's going to take all of us in this relentless fight. After all, there's nothing more unstoppable than men and women united for a common purpose. I hope after our event today, the American Heart Association can count on you to be an ambassador for all the women in your life. Every mother, sister, and friend. Back over to Ashley to close us out. Ashley?
Thank you to all of you for joining us today, and thank you for being a relentless force for women. Let's bring up the thermometer one more time. Wow, thank you all so much for your generosity. Now, don't forget, you still have an opportunity to make a donation and join Circle of Red by texting ARGORED to 41444. A reminder that the auction closes at 5 today, so copy and paste the link in the chat box to get those bids in. Have a great day, and we'll see you next year. Thanks again, everyone.